Could a couple of you share the most powerful $1 million piece of advice you could provide to single-family offices in the space, maybe someone who's about to have a big exit or just did have a big exit, because all of you didn't just start working at the single-family office in the last month or two. You've been there for years, learned hard lessons, the organizations learned hard lessons. So what could you share with some of the families here in the room?
So I would say right now, because I think we're at the end of the bull market, I think one of the most important lessons that anyone can kind of take away is not to be highly levered, because I think leverage helps you make more money in a bull cycle, but when you're kind of at the end of that cycle and the cycle is turning, we're already getting calls from some of the leading families in New York that own some of the most iconic buildings in New York, and they bought them for a 3 cap and their cost of debt is now at 5, and they're losing money every month. And they're not dramatically distressed yet, but give it a couple of years, they could be. So given that we're at the end of this bull cycle and, you're seeing high unemployment in, a lot of the tech companies are starting to fire people, the capital markets for new IPOs is basically shut, the pipe market is shut, inflation is high. We do think we're kind of ending the cycle of this bull cycle, and if people are highly levered going into this cycle, I think leverage helps you make money in a bull market, but you look in 2008, there were billionaire families that had leverage, and some of them got wiped out of a few $1 billion, like literally overnight, because of all the margin calls and everything else. So I'd say the biggest takeaway that anyone would take from lessons we've learned over the past 20 years is, especially when you're heading into more potentially volatile markets, is to really be conservative on leverage, and that would be the one piece of advice that I'd have for anyone.
If I could just add to that, I think investing is inherently risky, but the one way you can de-risk that is you build process into your systems, and that's one thing we've done incredibly well. I think we've, for $1 billion, we're relatively a small firm, but I would say we've got best-in-class processes of a large cap firm in terms of, our investment process, how we do diligence. We invest in a lot of industrial manufacturing businesses, so we're very operationally intensively providing those services to our companies, but we create playbooks on how do we add value, how do we go in and help a sales team, how do we go in and help merge companies or do ERP implementations, and having processes behind every aspect of how you can add value helps de-risk the investments you make.